Yeah, once again, I think I still have to say good evening, everyone. Interesting that you just reflected on the sites, giving an answer on the mission within the supply chain. I do hope that within the 6 or 8 minutes I have, I might give you an idea what we have done to come to a to a concrete figure. As well, I'm also glad to be given the opportunity to talk at the Green Mondays event, although for me it's pretty early. So apologies to that I won't be able to stay until the end, although it probably is very interesting. So let me give you some words in the background on PUMA and PPR. PUMA has a clear mission, not only to be the most desirable sports brand in the world, but also the most sustainable. With the release of the first results of PUMA's environmental profit and loss in May, it marked a turning point for PUMA's sustainability strategy, and we do hope that we have set some important markers for our industry. This is also the first for the PPR group, since it is the first practical outcome of PPR's new sustainability initiative, which is called PPR Home. So, uh, what exactly is an environmental profit and loss? Jim just briefly reflected on it. An environmental profit and loss accounts uh, an environmental profit and loss account is a means of placing a monetary value on the environmental impacts along the entire supply chain of a given business. At PUMA, we recognize that most of our impacts occur beyond our control operations and that the impact of producing and selling PUMA products are not currently accounted for. We feel it's our responsibility to identify these impacts, their associated scale, and put a price on them. Not only does this provide greater transparency, but it also provides us with essential information that can be embedded into our daily decision making to enable us to become more sustainable. We thought that putting a price on those impacts could help us to communicate the challenge and bring it to the attention of various stakeholders in a term everybody understands, which is money. In the first stage of the profit and loss analysis or impact statement, which was released in May, we are discussing today, we have analyzed two elements of our environmental footprint along the entire supply chain, including PUMA and PUMA's operation. Just let me briefly reflect on when I say entire supply chain, this means tier one suppliers, which are doing our final products, down the chain to tier four, which is the cotton in the field or the cows or the cattle in the farm. So we have analyzed greenhouse gas emissions and our water consumption. And when I'm saying we, this was a joint effort between PricewaterhouseCoopers and Trucost, and I still believe that we do have the CEO of Trucost sitting amongst you guys this evening. So again, apologies if I'm not able later on for questions, but Richard is certainly happy to answer the questions. So why have we concentrated on water and greenhouse gases first? This is simply because the water use and the energy consumption, especially in our industry, is facing the biggest challenges, and we cover approximately 60 to 65% of the total environmental impact. So we are planning, and actually we have already started to examine the impacts of acid rain, smoke precursors, a volatile organic compound scoping study, waste and land use, and we do hope to publish the final environmental profit and loss statement with all the just mentioned KPIs latest in autumn this year. Once this is established, we will develop a profit and loss, excuse me, reflecting the social aspects of our business. You know that the sporting goods industry is always in the focus or in the focus of the media, especially when it comes to social issues. So within stage two, we will reflect on wages, benefits, working hours, child labor, health and safety, conditions at the working place, collective bargaining, freedom of association. Stage three will then complete the other side of the equation, moving to the complex area of valuing the social and economic benefits from PUMA's operations through creating job, tax contribution, philanthropic initiatives, and other value-adding elements. So that at the end of this whole exercise, we will have an environmental, social, and economic profit and loss. So let's move to the results. The first results we had in terms of greenhouse gases was the figure of 770.5 kilotons carbon dioxide, which was valued at 66 tons. At 66 euro per ton carbon dioxide equivalent. I have to mention here that the so-called social costs of carbon were taken into consideration. For the water consumption, PUMA's operation, and the entire supply chain, we had a result of 77.5 million cubic meters per year, valued, including scarcity, valued at 81 euro cents per cubic meter. So in terms of financial figures, the first results of the stage 1 resulted in 94.4 million euro, where water was contributing 47.4 million euro, greenhouse gases 47 million euro. Interesting enough is to recognize that PUMA and its operations worldwide contributed with 7.3 million euro, and 87.1 million euro is only the supply chain. So in terms of greenhouse gas value, PUMA's contribution is 7.5%. In terms of the water value, only 0.1%. So what is our intention with the EPNL, and what are the next steps? Further analysis of the results of the EPNL will be used to, in our sector and definitely beyond, increase transparency and raise awareness of the use and impact of supply chains on ecosystem services, promote broader understanding of pending limitations in the supply chain, such as water and raw material scarcity, Jim just briefly mentioned, anticipate the potential impact of commodity prices in future resulting from changes in supply chain and demand for ecosystem services, anticipate the impacts of environmental regulations that may be implemented in response. So for PUMA, this might mean that we have to probably review and to revise PUMA's sustainability targets, actions, and the scorecards. If we have a minute later, we might come to this. That through this EPNL, we will be able to rank our tier 1 suppliers based on efficiencies. Then, of course, we can direct PUMA's future procurement decisions. And we can stimulate the so-called snowball effect to inform and guide the necessary action that must be taken further down the supply chain. This means from tier 2 to tier 4. So I think that I was approximately in my time. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. I think it was a little bit less